everyone, welcome to my studio.
All right, I want to start with this already finished Christmas tree. And I think I did this Christmas tree maybe 2 years ago. So first I want to talk about the harsh reality of being an artist. And that is that this was in a couple Christmas markets and it never sold. And so they gave it back to me. And when I got it back last time, look at the base. The base was weebly wobbly. And so this year when I was prepping things for the Christmas market, first of all, I thought, well, it didn't sell in the first 2 markets, so I need to find a different place for it. But second of all, I can't sell it like this with that weebly wobbly base. What I'm going to do is fix this base. So I didn't have time to fix it before, but I'm going to fix it now. And here's what I found out. This other tree had the same problem. And so I kept this other tree with my Christmas stuff, which I just recently got out in the last week. So this Christmas stuff was in my personal stash for my personal display because it had been damaged and I fixed it. And I have forgotten that I fixed it. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, wonderful. It can be fixed. It's not wobbly at all. It's very sturdy. And so I'm going to fix this the same way. And all I did was add Apoxie Sculpt and put beads around it to cover the Apoxie Sculpt. So that's what I'm going to do. Before I put the epoxy on it, I'm turning it sideways just so that I can see how much that wobbles. Look at that. That is unacceptable. Who would want that? I don't want that. It's really irritating that I've already made something. And this base was just purchased at a craft store. It was not meant to hold a mosaic, so maybe the weight of the mosaic is pulling it forward and making it a little wonky, but this epoxy will be strong enough and hard enough to support it and keep it in place without wobbling. So I can tell that I'm holding it at the top. It needs to be positioned like this. So I'm going to put the epoxy on, and then I'm going to have to find a way to brace it so that it stays in the upright position like this and doesn't lean forward as it's curing. But first I'm going to put it on there and I'm going to put the beads on, and then I will have to find the sweet spot so that it can cure in the sweet spot. When I'm using Apoxie Sculpt for something like this, you can definitely eyeball it, but I like to measure it out. And I bought this scale just for epoxy, so it's getting kind of yucky, but I don't care. So it's 0.45. and 90. Now I pre-measured this, so that's why that came out so easily perfect, but I do like to have equal amounts, and this ensures that they are equal. Now I have to mix it by hand for 2 minutes. These are the beads I've chosen. I like the red, brings out the red of these ornaments that are on there. I'm gonna start at the bottom. Once they're all pressed in, I pull out. These beads are smaller, so I think there's gonna be 3 rows, or maybe even more. I was having one problem after another, and I finally just had to turn the camera off and focus on it and not record. But the beads were popping. When I pushed on one side, they'd pop off the other side. So I found you have to just press evenly on both sides so that you don't accidentally pop them on the other side. Anyway, so I'm finally on the final row, which I have to put 4 rows in there. Just pull the strand up. There we go. And I think to keep it in the correct position, which is pushed back, I'm going to have to have it sitting face down. That will push it back and hold it in position while it cures. There, finally got it all on there. I don't want to touch it. It's in the right position. I need to let it sit up and cure for about 3 hours. I'm about to grout this funky chunky bird. I've already taped off the edges, and now I just want to come in close. These little bits of jewelry I'm going to tape off before I grout as well. That's it. Finished. It's not quite set up all the way, but I can go ahead and take the tape off. And after it sets up a little bit more, I'll do a final cleaning. I want to take a toothbrush to this area, but I don't want to do it until the grout is a little less wet, because right now if I do it, it'll just smear it around. Here's my tree. It's all fixed. That worked beautifully. There's no wiggle to it. It's very, very sturdy. And here's the one that I fixed last time. And I'm just so pleased that that Apoxie Sculpt is so strong that you can fix things like that. So that's wonderful. I'm ready to start these 3 sunflowers. And I plan on making a beaded center and then stained glass petals and a stained glass background. So what I'd like to do is start with something that's a little bit irregular. So these druzys are really, really nice. I have one that's a little more golden, and I think I want to use it on this one. This one's a little bit too big to use for these because this is a smaller scale than what I've done before. And this is a vintage cabochon. I think I'm going to use this one on one of the other ones. Maybe, I don't know which one. And then I might just put some filati in the center, very center of the other one. But I'm just going to do them one at a time. I think I'm going to start with this one. The center's done, and what I'm really aiming for is a different personality on each one of these. There's that one, and there is that one. So I think they're all very, very different. This one is like wild. This one is very tight, but it looks tight here. And there's just a hint of red. I put red beads, but with the black epoxy, they were a deep red, and they look very, very dark. The light has to hit it just right for you to see the red sparkle on there. And that was just on the outside edge. The inside ones were black. And then this one is just a little bit different. It has some of these beads that look more like seeds on the edges. And hopefully next week I'll get to start the petals. That's it. This weekend, I held a mosaic wine glass workshop where we just put a mosaic on the base of wine glasses with beads and tiles and glass and charms and all kinds of fun stuff. So it's a 3-hour workshop, and I thought that the projects came out so nice. I just wanted to show how everyone did. I had 6 students, and everyone did 2 wine glasses, and then I had quite a few samples that I showed beforehand. So here they are all together, and it was a great group of students. We had a really good time.
That's putting it together. Thanks for watching. See you next time.